Hello students, today we are going to learn about the classification of pteridophytes. So the term pteridophyte was coined by Haeckel. Now as you all know that pteridophytes are usually a group of vascular plants. That means they have both xylem and phloem and disperse with the help of spores. And since the pteridophytes produces neither the flowers nor the seeds, they are sometimes also referred to as the cryptogams. And certain forms of pteridophytes like the ferns, horsetails and the lycophytes, they usually do not form a monophyletic group because the ferns and horsetails are usually or very closely related to that of the seed plants than to that of the lycophytes. And like in the further video, you would also see that when you study the life cycle of the pteridophyte, it usually involves alternation of generation. This means that that there is a diploid generation, that is the sporophyte, which produces with the help of spores, which is followed by a haploid generation, which usually produces with the help of gametes. And if you see, the basic difference between the pteridophytes and that of the bryophytes is that the sporophyte is usually branched for the case of pteridophytes and much larger and more conspicuous from the seed plants in both generations, independent and a free living. So these are the basic types or the basic characteristics of pteridophytes. We would see the different types of classification in the following slides. So different groups of botanists had classified the pteridophytes into different forms. Like here in this particular picture that you can see, that certain forms of classification of the pteridophytes was given by Smith, Bold and Zimmerman. So they had classified pteridophytes into Xylophyta, Lycophyta, which is also known as the club moss or the spike moss, Sphenophyta, which is known as the horsetail, and Pterophyta, which are in terms referred to as the ferns or the Filicophyta. Now, the living example of Xylophyta is the Xylotum, that of Lycophyta is Selaginella, for Sphenophyta is Equisetum, and another example of Pterophyta is that of Pteris. So, if you study the forms of classification of pteridophytes, like you can say pointing the mouse, that Gifford and Foster had classified these pteridophytes into Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida and Filicopsida. So under the present edition, these names are usually referred to as Xylophyta, Lycophyta, Sphenophyta and Filicophyta. So under these, the descriptions we will study further, and you all should know that under Xylophyta, the two living genera are Xylotum and Mesipteris. Then for Lycophyta, it usually involves Selaginella. For Sphenophyta, there is Equisetum, and the Filicophyta has rather many living and extinct genera, which will come up later. So now we would discuss about the characters of Xylophyta. Now here, if you can see that there are two pictures, one is of the Xylotum and another one is the Mesipteris. So these are basically the two living examples of Xylophyta. Now if we focus more upon Xylotum, you would see that these are commonly called as the whisk ferns because it is without the firm, and all the stems which are there, they only perform these functions. And these kinds of plants are usually found in humus rich soil in tropical and the subtropical regions. So if you see that in the next slide, you can see that there are two two images. One is that of a complete plant showing the synangia, and the other one is xylem rhizome with rhizoids. So coming to the rhizomes with rhizoids, these group of plants usually, if I focus more upon xylem, that they do not have proper roots. So instead of the roots, these rhizomes are present, which performs the normal functions of anchorage, or rather helps the plant to anchor to the soil, and at the same point it has numerous rhizoids, which usually helps in the absorption of minerals and nutrients from the soil and transports it to the entire plant. On the picture to the left, this is basically a xylem plant only, which has got the synangia. It is like a diagrammatic representation. So as you can see here, that from the rhizome arises the aerial branches. So these aerial branches are usually green and cylindrical, and they are dichotomously branched. And the leaves, as you can see, are like they are scale like and scattered all over the branches, and it also possesses certain structures which you can see as the synangium. So basically, if you see that the xylem stem demonstrate dichotomous branching, as it has been shown here, with innations, that means they do not have any vascular tissues, and when 2 or 3 sporangia are usually fused together, they form the synangia. So what happens is, the sporangia, they are usually born in the triads. Like if you can see here, they are born in triad-like structures. Like there are 3 partitions which are there. So and they have very short stalks, and they are usually born in the axils of small bifid leaves on the aerial branches, and this triad of sporangia is only referred to as that of the synangia. And the trilobed like if you study the nature of the synangium, you would know that the trilobed synangium which is there, it is formed by the fusion of 2 or more sporangia, and each of the sporangium has got 3 chambers, so they are referred to as the trilocular sporangia. And the synangium, if you see, they are colline. That means they are usually developed at the apex of the stem, and they are modified. It is like a modified version of trilocular sporangium, which is present on the lateral branches. Next, we would study about the gametophytic structure. Now, if you see the gametophytic structure, these gametophytes usually lives underground as a saprophyte, and sometimes usually in mycorrhizal association. And when the gametophyte is mature, it produces both the egg and the sperm. Like here you can see that the spermatozoids are present, which are usually like comma shaped structures, and the gametophyte, like this is the gametophyte of xylem. So the gametophyte of xylem is often called as the prothallus, and if you see the anatomy, like it usually consists of parenchyma cells, and there is a stand of tracheids which are extending back from the apex. So the left hand side diagram is like a diagrammatic representation, and on the right hand side is the actual diagram, where you can see that there is the presence of the gametophyte, antheridium, then there is the rhizoids, from which certain hair-like structures called like there's a rhizome or the plant from the plant body, from where arises certain hair-like structure called as the rhizoids. So these are basically certain characteristics of the xylem. Now, if you see the characters of Xylophyta as a whole, some of the characters are most of the members are usually sporophytic. The roots are absent, as you can see. True roots are absent. Only the rhizome with the rhizoids are present, which functions like that of the roots only. And the organization of the plant body, if you see, are very simple. It is usually differentiated into a subterranean rhizome, and like as you can see here, there is a subterranean rhizome, and there are certain erect aerial portion as discussed earlier, and the aerial portion is sparingly in certain cases or profusely in certain types of plants. They are sparingly or profusely branched, and the branching is usually of the dichotomous type, and the aerial axis may be leafless, or maybe like they are usually leafless in cases of Xylostom, or bear certain scaly appendages, or large foliage, like they bear certain scaly appendages in Xylostom, and large foliage leaves are present in Mesopteris. And the vascular tissue of these kinds are usually they are of the primitive type, and the reproductive organs are in the form of sac-like sporangia, as you have already seen that trilocular sporangia are usually fused to form structures like that of the synangium. So basically upon a cross section you can see a triad-like structures, and the sporangia which are there, they are usually borne at the apex of the aerial shoots. The gametophytes are cylindrical or branched, sometimes subterranean, and the sex organs are partially embedded in the prothallus as already seen, and the anthrazoids are usually present in these structures which arises from the antheria like structures. So these are the certain characteristics of xylophyte tails.